Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today's case is going to be the true crime case of Abigail J. Williams and Liberty Rose Lynn German. I'd just like to give my normal disclaimer. I don't mean any disrespect to anyone I'm going to speak about today. I've gathered the information off the internet and simply compiled it into one video for educational purposes. I'm sorry if I seem a bit off today in this video. I'm just not feeling that great. Liberty was 14 and Abigail was 13 when they went missing. The girls were on the same volleyball team and they became fast friends. They wanted to do everything together. They loved spending time with each other. They were really into photography and art and was both very outdoorsy people. They lived in Delphi in Indiana in the US. Now Delphi was known as a very quiet, tight-knit community. And it was in a very rural area where there was kind of one main street that just ran through the entire town. So everybody knew everybody, or at least so they thought. And it was quite a safe place to live. People left the doors unlocked. They would let their children play out, things like that. On the 13th of February 2017, the girls were enjoying a day off school. And they decided, after a fair bit of deliberation actually, that they would go for a walk along the hiking trail. Liberty asked her sister Kelsey if she would drop them off. At first, Kelsey didn't agree to it. She said that she was busy, she couldn't. But eventually, if someone would actually pick them up, she said, "I will take you." So the dad agreed to collect them at around about 3:30. The girls got dropped off at around about 1:35 at one of the trailheads at Delphi Historic Trails. The girls were actually hiking on the Moon and High Bridge over Deer Creek. And this was shrouded among woodland, and they chose this trail because it was very beautiful. People actually went there for weddings and they took the scenic shots there. And again, they were really into the photography, so they did take a lot of pictures, and this is why they actually ended up going there. And they were posting these pictures on social media, Snapchat, things like that. And they were just really enjoying their day off school. There was an old train track that ran through it, and it wasn't really advised that people go along it, but anyway, people did. It ran across the creek, and the girls would actually take a photograph on this train track. Like I said, you weren't really supposed to be on there, but kids being kids and people being people, they just like to explore and do things and just enjoy themselves. Again, it was such a beautiful place, and you could get some really good shots on this train track. The dad came to pick them up around 3:14 and the girls weren't there to meet him. So he figured they will still be on the trail, maybe they've just lost track of time, I'll go up and find them. So off he went. He went to go and meet them and he came across somebody who said that they had actually seen somebody on the bridge. Obviously thinking that with them, he went to go and explore but couldn't really see them. It got to around 4 o'clock and after they weren't answering his phone calls, he couldn't find them, he did start to get worried. So what he did was he called all of the family, told them that he couldn't find any of them, both the girls' family, he couldn't find them. Maybe they'd got injured, people needed to come down to help. So about 4:14, most of the family arrived there, of the two families.
We were gonna go to the trails and look and see if we could find the girls ourselves. Like, our main thought was they must have fallen, dropped a phone, maybe they got lost in the woods, they wandered off a little too far and couldn't find their way back.
Within an hour and 23 minutes of the girls' last Snapchat post, the family was there looking for them. So surely, after not such a long amount of time, that they would be able to find them. Like I said, it was only an hour and a half had passed. If they were injured or something somewhere, then it was quite early on. So hopefully from the last contact that they knew about, that they could find them. So they searched and searched. About 5:30, they actually decided to ring the police, and the police sent up a car to help with the search efforts. At the time, I don't think the police were too worried. I think they thought along the lines of the family that they'd become injured somewhere, that maybe they'd got lost. Maybe they even lost the phone and that's why they couldn't get hold of them. But they needed to find these girls, so everybody started looking. They got people from the community and they all made search groups and they were all looking for these two girls. They searched and searched. Unfortunately, they didn't find anything. And around 12 p.m, they did have to call off a search because the terrain was quite dangerous. It was very dark, you couldn't really see anything. There wasn't much more that they could do, so they decided to call it off and continue in the morning. And the next day they did resume searching for the girls.
Knowing the area, I knew areas that the girls would have went if they were going there willingly. So going around those areas, I was able to help them go to spots that like I knew Libby would have been if she wanted to be there.
They brought in drones, they brought in dogs. The people separated all into different groups. They tried to track their phones. They just did everything they could to try and search for these girls. It was on Valentine's Day, the 14th of February 2017, when the girls' bodies were discovered about 15 metres away from the north bank of Deer Creek.
We were looking underneath the bridge, and as soon as we'd gotten back to the private drive, somebody yelled up the hill that they'd found a shoe. And knowing that I dropped the girls off and I remembered what they were wearing, I knew exactly what shoes my sister and Abby were both wearing. So as soon as they yelled up what type of shoe it was, I knew exactly whose it was. It wasn't long after they told us that they'd found the shoe that a searcher found the bodies of the girls.
The next day, the police began circulating an image of a man that was on that same bridge that the girls were on. And it was actually later revealed that this photo was taken on Liberty's phone. Did she think that he was a risk? Was she worried? Why would she have taken this man's photo if she didn't think that he was up to no good? Did she think that this was maybe evidence against, if this was the man that actually did something to her, was this evidence that she could have gathered to help them along the way? And I do believe that the girls were very interested in true crime, and maybe this is where the idea came from, that she had to gather some proof, some evidence as to this guy that was actually following them, because obviously she must have been worried about them, about him. You don't just take pictures of random men walking towards you for no reason. This picture was put out everywhere, and the family do believe that this is the image of the person that killed these girls. The family have looked into getting this image cleared up. They've had NASA, they've had Disney, everyone they can think of trying to work on cleaning up this image as best as they can, and unfortunately it doesn't get any better than what I've actually showed you guys. That is the best resolution, the best picture that we can get of this man who is believed to be a suspect. They had e-fits done from the people who saw the man on the bridge that day. It was found out that the last picture was taken at 2:10 p.m. and they also reported that a recording had been done. This recording was of a man's voice saying "down the hill," and I will play this for you. Down the hill. Down the hill. So again, this recording was muffled. It was done obviously from Liberty putting the phone in her pocket, therefore muffling the sounds. So obviously she wanted to record this man but not let him be aware that he was being recorded. How scary must this have been for this strange man to just go up to these girls at such a young age, and then him telling them to go down the hill, and it just must have been so scary. But she had the intuition to actually record him. She must have been so brave, and it totally breaks my heart what actually happened to these girls. She recorded it, she tried to get evidence, she did photographs if this was the man of her killer at the time, and she was just so brave to actually have done this. There is also a recording of the girls talking about some man following them, and the police, as well as many of us, as well as myself, do believe that they did actually know what was going on, which again supports the theory that Libby was suspicious of this man on the bridge. Maybe he was following them, maybe he was acting suspiciously, but she did record him for a reason. They must have been afraid of this man. A little later on, another sketch was released, a more up-to-date sketch, as well as a video of this gentleman walking on the bridge. This showed the mannerisms in which he walked, so people might recognise him off this. The image, again, isn't that great. So if people actually see somebody, how they walk, that can sometimes think, oh, actually, I do know that person. So they did release that as well. And they were just trying to get any information on this man as they could. The two sketches do look very different from each other. And the police have actually now stated that the first person is kind of a person of interest. The first sketch, is a person of interest. And the second sketch is actually the primary suspect. Somebody out there might know who this man is. They also released a tiny bit more of the audio recorded off Liberty's phone. So you can now hear him saying, "Guys, down the hill." And you can also hear leaves and things rustling kind of as they walk.
Guys, down the hill. Guys, down the hill. Guys, down the hill.
The police do think he's between 18 and 40, but may actually look a lot younger than he actually is. Nobody's found this man, and it's left the Delphi community, as it would, on edge. The police actually do believe he's local, so obviously the community would be terrified. In an interview, the police did even state that he may even be in this room. They may have interviewed him. And it's quite common for these kind of things to happen when a criminal has committed a crime. To be there, watching, going to his own conferences, kind of hiding in plain sight. Now, some people like the Golden State Killer. He actually attended one of his own conferences. Some criminals do get off on that kind of thing. Like hearing about themselves, and I don't know, I guess it gives them some power in their head. Makes them feel good about themselves.
For more than 2 years, you never thought we would shift gears to a different investigative strategy, but we have. We likely have interviewed you or someone close to you. We know that this is about power to you, and you want to know what we know. And one day, you will. A question to you. What will those closest to you think of when they find out that you brutally murdered 2 little girls? 2 children. Only a coward would do such a thing.
The police are very hopeful that they will find him. They do have quite a lot of evidence, and they haven't released most of it to the public. They've said that they have more evidence on the phone, which they are not going to release, and everyone can understand this because they're trying to build a case against this man. So when they do actually catch whoever it was, they will have all of the evidence, hopefully, already there, that they can just put him against him straight away and identify him as the actual killer. And again, it is an ongoing investigation. It happened 3 years ago. The information, they're not going to release it because it may compromise their case against him. And this, again, is totally understandable. They haven't told us what they found on the girls, what they found around them. They haven't even told us how he actually killed them, what their cause of death was. They are seriously keeping everything under tight lips. And I really hope they have a lot of evidence. So if this man was the one that did commit him, I hope they can charge him and he can serve justice for what he's done. Maybe the families could get a bit of closure of the reason as to why he did it. That doesn't always come out. Sometimes they don't give a motive. Sometimes they don't have one. But at least justice will be served when they capture this man. It's not going to bring the poor, innocent young girls back. Nothing will. And that is horrible. He destroyed their lives. He destroyed their family's lives. And he took it away from them so young. And it's just so, so sad. But all that they can do for the family now is to get the person who did this behind bars. Like I said, it's still an ongoing case and the information is really limited for the reasons I've given previously. And I do have every faith that this killer will be caught. Let's try and share the awareness of this case and try and get some information out there. Maybe somebody who does know this man could come forward. Maybe they have never heard of this case. Maybe they do know the man but don't know that he has done such a terrible thing. Just spreading the awareness can help with these cases so much. They've had so many tips, so many sightings and performed so many interviews and they still are unaware as to who did this to these girls. Have you seen someone like this man? Do you know who he is? Did you see anything that day that you thought probably wouldn't be useful, but maybe watching things like this or the news, now you realise that it could be useful? Please, if you do have any information, do contact the relevant authorities with regards to this case. And let's get these families some form of closure, some form of justice for these young girls that just wanted to spend a day out having fun together on the day off school. It really is tragic what happened that fateful day. And I do hope that this case is solved soon. If you have any more cases you want me to look into, guys, please do let me know and I'll look into them for you. If you're new here, look at my other videos, like and subscribe to see videos of similar content to this one. Anyway guys, that's all I have today on the case of Liberty German and Abigail Williams. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye!